Yeah, South Dakota State was the better team today. You know, they played well for 4 quarters, and we didn't execute on offense for 4 quarters, and we didn't execute on defense for 4 quarters. I thought our special teams did a good job. We had good returns, and we had really good punts, really good coverage on kickoffs. But against a team like that, you got to be able to execute and play and do your job for 4 quarters, and we weren't able to do that. Defense, I thought, was really good in the first half. Felt good going into halftime, 7-0, when the offense hasn't done anything. I think we only had 24 plays in the first half, and then came out and moved the ball in the second half. Got to 14-14. I felt good about it, and then they finished and we didn't. So they made it tough. They kept the ball. They kept us off the field. They did a good job. They got to 3rd and short, and we weren't able to get them off the field like we needed to. So we got to rebound and come back and get ready for next week's game.
When you look at that first half, just kind of what did you see that was tripping you guys up so much?
Yeah, I think we got a little overwhelmed with their front, and they hit our quarterback a lot. I think it affected him in the first half. It was good to see him regroup and catch his poise at halftime and come out and play better in the second half. Get us in a chance to win the game. But, you know, we got to do a better job. That's a really good defensive front. I knew going into the game they were really good. Thought we'd be able to mix up the run a little bit more. But when you run the ball and you get 2 yards and 3 yards, it makes it really hard. I did like the way that Gicardier came back and ran the ball in the 3rd quarter and made some really good runs for us.
When it's 14-0 and you get the defensive stop, it's early 4th quarter. Is that the key part of the game right there? You need to do something with that.
That's when we got to take it and go score. And I think that's when we got the penalty, right? So we had a really good opening play. They called it a blind side block, and looked at it for targeting, and it was not targeting. And they told me upstairs it wasn't a blind side block either. So there's not a lot you can do about that. But when you get behind and getting 3rd and extra long against them, it's tough. But that's the situation where you need to go score and you know, take the lead. But we hurt ourselves.
How was the week of preparation going into this?
Our guys worked hard, practiced really hard. You know, that's why I felt good about going into the game today, because we practiced really hard on Tuesday. We practiced really hard on Wednesday. Both days were hot, just like it was today, and I felt that would maybe give us the advantage. But didn't really come into play.
Win or lose one game today wasn't going to make or break your season. So what's your message to the guys afterwards?
Yeah, exactly. You know, we know in this conference you got to come and play every week. So all our goals are still out there. The thing that's most important is what we do now going forward, getting ready. Anytime you lose a game like that, you know, it always challenges your togetherness as a team. So we need our leadership to stay together and our team to stay together and, you know, get on the practice field and get better.
You've coached in a lot of those top-tier teams versus top-tier teams. You've won some, you've lost some. Is that what you're talking about when you lose games like that? Because, I mean, you knew the circumstances going into today's game and the history it was for the school.
Yeah, I was just hoping we'd play better for 4 quarters. You know, I think if we'd have moved the ball in the first half on offense, we'd have had a lot better chance. And if we could come up with some 3rd down stops on defense and get the ball back and, you know, play better as a team. I thought, you know, like I said, special teams were, I felt like we won that phase of it, but we didn't win the other 2.
What about bouncing back from that? How difficult is that when you go from all the hype for one game and then you have to go on the road? North Dakota's a far way to go. You struggled there the last time you were there. Yeah,
I think you know, in this conference, our guys understand that you play 1 week at a time. And, you know, we've always talked about 24 hours. You put that game behind you and you move forward, win or lose. The most important thing is what we do today for our next game. So that's what we have to do is come out on Monday and do what we do on Monday, condition really hard and do a good job in the meetings, and then practice really well the rest of the week.
What they do differently guarding Jason? It seemed like there was a spy at some points, or great defensive front, and they're even able to hold tight at just 2 catches and -1 yards, which is something we don't see here.
Yeah, we don't see that very often, but really what they did is pressure them. You know, we didn't have a whole lot of time back there, and we weren't able to get the ball moved around the field much.
Is that an offensive line? It's just kind of looking at.
Yeah, I think it was an offensive line thing, and that's why in the third quarter we started moving the quarterback more, running more nakeds, more sprint out stuff, and that helped us. But certainly you can only do that so much. You got to be able to line up and block them.
Bob, you had a couple more penalties today, the unsportsmanlike variety. Do you think that just stemmed from frustration on the sideline?
That's got to end, and that's what I told the team. You know, that's got to end. We cannot have that. It's unacceptable. You know, we get a big 4th down stop, and we get a, you know, all you can do is jump off the pile and run off the field, and we get a penalty there. And then the one late in the game is just like giving in. So that stuff has to end.
I'm sure that's been it's been happening throughout the season, and it sounds frustrated right now. But how much have you been preaching that? Because
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could get better at it.
Any other questions for Coach, guys? All right, Coach, thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.